There's something absolutely incredible about this game that not enough people are talking about. First, let's take a step back. Have a look on screen here. This is the 2700 club, the best chess players in the world. And this guy, Yaz Khan from Turkey, he just entered the standings at the ripe old age of just 14 years old. He's smashed Wei Yi's record. There's Wei Yi for reference, top 10 in the world, just played the candidates. He became a 2700 player way back in March 2015, the youngest ever, ahead of Magnus. How did this guy do it? Yaz Khan. Well, he's playing Veselin Topalov. It's a clash of generations match. Toppy's, of course, a former World Chess Championship challenger. He was even a FIDE Classical World Champion. Read about that if you want to, or FIDE champion, I should say. He's incredible. He opens with e4. It's a classical time control. Yaz Khan plays the Caro-Kann defense, starting with pawn to c ships. He'd already played e5 and drawn, c5 and won. Shows how versatile he is. And he goes on to play a stunning game. There's really something about this one that I want to draw to your attention. More on that in just a moment. 3 brilliant C's to come in this game. 2 from Yaz, 1 from Toppy. It's honestly an incredible battle. I've been over it, and it just keeps impressing me every time. My arrows have gone, but there's a party hat. There's one more to come. This is known as the short variation. This whole setup, very rich play. You keep the bishops on the board. A6 now controls, preparing this. Castles, here comes the c pawn, and bishop e3, stack my bishop, whispers Toppy. By the way, if you haven't yet picked up some Epic Chess merch, do check it out down below. I'm wearing the old Rookcliffe t-shirt today. There's some great ones over there. Supports the channel, gets you a nice fun shirt to wear down the chess club. Have a look. We now see takes on d4, knight recaptures, pressures the bishop. You might think, let's retreat, keep the bishops, lovely diagonal. But if you do that, we'll look at the piece count. 1, 2, 3 developed to your 1, and the king's castled. You just have to start getting your bits out at this point. Yaz does it, of course. g4 is a fascinating line, but f4 is selected here. h5 says no g4 for you, sir. And if you take, not the best. You're giving black a ton of time to start developing. Here's one sample, and you're possibly opening up lines of attack on the king side as well. g5 is a classic idea in these structures, weakening this pawn, maybe bringing the queen out. So the pawn wasn't touched here. We see knight d2, now knight b to c6, asking this one to clarify its position. It does so. Toppy's picked up the bishops here. That's why he retreats. Covers his king. Very juicy diagonal. g6 sets up an upside down triangle here. And you could already start cranking things open with pawn to c4. But the next 10 moves just ooze class from Toppy. He starts with bishop d3. Micro improvement. Rooks belong on half open files. a3, just keeping those minor pieces at bay. This one develops. Finally, Yaz has got his bits out here. Rook c1, prepares the pawn push. Finally, not for you, sir. Clampdown from Yaz. And before you can say Shak attack, there he is. Big Shak Mamedyarov, obviously an incredible player himself. Was like top 10 in the world of all time. He's Yaz Khan's coach, by the way, so no wonder Yaz is getting so good. Plus incredible talent. Toppy gains space, maybe hinting at this one. Anyway, it looks a nice clamp on this square. And knight h6 now looks to hop into g4. Access denied, so the pony pops back. Looks at these weakened squares. King h2, h4. We've got to talk about the clock situation. Yaz has been running low for quite some time, but this is nuts. He's now down under 10 minutes, getting 30 seconds back per move. That's known as excrement when you've been playing for long enough here. Toppy's 40 minutes up. He's a seasoned vet, right? He's going to squeeze the life out of you in a manoeuvring position like this. Decides to bring the knight this way. Fair dues. Knight g3 now from Yaz. And he shows great understanding of the position, that he's got to attack. If you let white manoeuvre, then they're going to start coming at you soon. Ripping open the queen side. Your king's in the centre. You're in for a world of pain. So he's saying, please take. Let's open some lines here. G5's the idea. And so on from there. You know, if takes, here's a quick sample. You're getting attacked. The pawn is weak. I'm not saying this is best play from white. But these are the themes. Topalov doesn't want it. Moves the rook simply because it was attacked. And now anyway, what does Yaz do? Vamos, baby. Let's go checkmate that king. Let's break down this structure like the Great Wall of Topalov it is. It's soon to topple. Queen d2 covers. Rook g8 activates. Great chess. Super low on time now. 3 minutes is insane. c3 is another classy move here. You cover the b4 pawn and you prepare to push with pawn a4. So takes is played. Now if queen takes, this is black's idea. Bishop g5. That's a nice skewer. So knight takes, but the queen now activates. Pressure here. Pressure here. Don't get checkmated. Think, maybe not knight f1, but think some stuff, right? It's nasty. And if you take, black's doing really well. The knights often do better than the bishops in such structures. Very closed, very manoeuvry. A lot of outposts here as well. So this is the point. This is the problem with queen takes immediately. This is why rook c2 was played. Stepping off the line of the skewer. Queen c7 activates. Looks at multiple kind of weak diagonals. Pressure point pawns. Very nice move. But you can now legit take. Best move. You know, this is no longer a threat. The queen left d8. It left this diagonal here. Not played though. Topalov now starts stepping a bit wrong. This is where the rust catches you up right, deeper into the game. He plays pawn a4. And it's so subtle, but it's a bad move because you've weakened the control of b4. Black now has the awesome move, not found, knight e4. Now you can't live with that one. So takes, pawn takes, picks up a tempo on the knight. So rook takes, right? But then, the point of all this, you got rid of the bishop that was defending the rook, and you can crash through here. How cool is this variation? Pawn takes, you take here, and rook takes, you take here. Very, very nice line. Yaz misses it, low on time. He simply chomps the pawn. White's now significantly better. Queen takes, good. Bishop takes, maybe not the right move right now because you weaken protection of the rook. But many good ideas. Bishop c5, 1. This was, however, selected. Perhaps stepping away from these kind of tactical shots. No more pressure on the rook. But Yaz now finds, truly one of the most stunning moves of the game. He punches through the centre with pawn to d4. I mean, this guy has got talent. It gets a question mark. It's like 1.5 better for white now, but it's not easy to actually see why. This is good. This is good. But then you do have to contend with takes here. Your dark squares are getting cranked open. What's going on the queen side there? And Topalov, wanting to keep control, wanting to keep things tight, takes here with the knight. You know, if pawn had taken, there was the instant knight takes on b4. Black even a smidge better. Now it looks like you're keeping control, but there's this move in response. And you've removed the pawn, which is covering the king. Some nasty stuff can start happening. Bishop takes on a6 was played. Best move actually, but here comes the first of 3 brilliancies. Yaz finding it, 1.5 minutes on the clock. What a guy. Pawn to f3, opening the power of the queen down this diagonal. And if you execute on your threat, we should always ask the obvious questions first. There's a mate in 6. Would Yaz have found this? I guess so. It really is awesome. Can you see the starting move? It's knight g4 check, unleashing the epic power of the queen. Again, let's ask the obvious question. What if you take? Well, then there's knight f1 check. If king h1, mate. King g1, still the same kind of mate, because even when the knight drops, you shut the trap with the queen, and the pawn helps, and the king's blocked in. So let's run back. This is what happens if takes, knight g4, pawn takes, and if king steps back, then there's knight e2 check. And the themes are very similar. If you step here, this is a mate. Step here, this is a mate, very pretty one. You can also do with the queen. If you don't step with the king, if you take that knight, well, it doesn't matter what you take with. Either piece, the king's still blocked in. Once the queen scythes on in, and that's how you do the mate. Or you could do it with the pawn if you're feeling fancy. So all roads lead to Rome if you take this rook. Therefore, it wasn't played. We get check. The game's still hotting up here. It's such a good battle. You could sidestep the king, but this was played. Opening the queen once more. That's really the true point. You know, you don't normally want to step backwards, right? King g1's therefore played. Knight e2 check anyway. Of course we can see why. Because after takes, crashing through here was selected. Don't go to h1. Get mated. King f1 therefore. You could still come with the queen. Apparently it's zeros. Drawn. Run it with the engine. Okay, whatever. The most swashbuckling move, though, was played by Yaz. Rook takes on f2 check. Love it. What a fantastic game this is. Look at the king hunt. That one getting absolutely flushed out like poop from the River Seine in readiness for the Olympics. True story. Way too much waste in the river. They had to get the old flushers out. Get that stuff away hard and fast. People had to go swim in there. Knight d4 is apparently best. Not found. Rook g1 was selected. A check is threatened. Knight f6 is the best response. This is some epic chess, right? 1 minute 37. All of this is being found on increment. Now, can you not just nab a pawn? No, you can't. Queen d5 comes. You hit a loose rook. And once it moves, you can go knight e4 check because the queen supports the square. And because your queen's here, you lose the queen. So don't touch the pawn. That's why queen f3. You stop queen d5. They're seeing each other's plans. It's incredible cat and mouse. This is why h3 is a top move right now, because you're trying to distract the queen from the d5 square. So that's why queen c4 was selected instead. This move missed, low on time, but you still hit the loose rook. Still, when it moves, you support this check. You hunt the king. It's truly unbelievable chess here. King e1 is now played. We're starting to enter the endgame phase. By the way, I really should mention it. I don't enough. Lotus Chess, they now do endgames as well as openings. Has there ever been a better value app, right? I use it pretty much daily. The link is below. It's phenomenal. They're constantly improving it. Go on, get on down. Get your opening repertoire down. Plus the old end games. Play like Magnus. So good. Check it out below. That king's now safe. Or is it? The knight is hopping like a crazy frog. Queen b7 though. I mean, neither player knows what's going on. This is a 3-result game, right? It's fascinating. Rook c7. Queen a8 check. Rook c8. You could repeat the position here. But Topalov doesn't want it. He's a fighter and he's just seen a move. You know, when you're just itching to play the move, you've seen an idea, you cannot help yourself. It looks so good. This is stunning. Rook g4. What a move. Would you look at that? And if the queen takes here, the point is you've left the protection. You take with check. Not quite, mate, but white is now winning because you're hunting the king. So let's run back. You can't take the rook. What if you take here first? Well, no good. You take with check and play what you will. Then you win the queen. So it's all working for white. It really is a good move by Topalov, but there is a saving grace. The simple queen c7. Just retreat, stay with your rook. Now the white queen has to move. And how about this for the most brilliant long distance move? Topalov shouts whoosh at the top of his voice as he goes like this. What an absolute skidoosh of a move. I mean, who doesn't love playing those? Difficult if you're like 3 years old, right? You haven't quite got the old length of the arms. Or if you had those T-Rex arms, you'd be struggling. But thankfully, Topalov doesn't have that issue. The pawn is attacked, defended of course. Rook a5, double whammies this one. It's about to drop. So f5, yes, it looks loosening, but it's best. It blocks the attack. It hits the rook. I love everything about this game. Such a good battle. What does Topalov play? He doesn't have to. He could play rook h4, but obviously, you guessed it. Who's not playing that? Way too tempting. Get rid of that absolute nightmare. Don't worry, I'm here all night. Queen takes pawn. Bishop f6 covers a checking square, hits a pawn. Now surely you check. Whoops, not like that. I've not even had a drink. But it's not played. King f1, saying now if you take, you're not taking with check. So rook d8. What a battle. This guy's 14 years old, holding his own with Topalov. Rook a6 is now played. I'm not the biggest fan of that move. Somehow just looks loose, right, when there's so much going on. You want your pieces defended. Surely you need to check in that last position. Queen c4 now. Back to the square. Hits the rook, defends the pawn, pressures the knight. By the way, the knight is an excellent defender of the king, so I slightly prefer white here almost. But then again, black's got the pawns in front of the king, which helps. White doesn't. Very balanced game. Computer gives you zeros, but this is human chess, and here we go. The blunder arrives, move 50. It's amazing they've both kept it together so well thus far. Rook a7 is actually top. Threat and mate in one. This is one sample line. Looks like you're getting absolutely killed. Surely this is a checkmating attack, but actually it's not. Like I said, the rook's an excellent defender of the king. So those kind of tactics, rook g1, king f2, rook f1, win the queen, not working. What a night. So that was one possible sample line that should draw, rook a7, but not played. Topalov plays the fateful queen h6 check. And I've been screaming, check, 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 check the king for ages, but this was actually the wrong way to do it. Bishop blocks, he wins a pawn. Surely winning the game. Covering here, threatening here, the black king position's collapsing. There's just one problem. It's quite a biggie. You're getting checkmated. King g2, queen g4 check. And wherever you step, you're not long for this world. King f2 takes the longest. The king steps this way though. There's some very long mating lines, so we'll just kind of stick with how things went. Queen f1 is fastest. This was played though. King f3 makes it mate in 10. Apparently, we'd probably all mess it up. Not even checkmate. Go on to lose the game. But not Ayaz here. He checks now. If king f4, rook f1 check. Amazingly, the king doesn't run away. The bishop, the pawn, it's all doing a great job of covering stuff. This is the only square, and this shuts the trap. So that's what happens if king f4. King f2 was played. There's a mate in one here. Can you find it? It's rook f1, of course. It finished the game. I mean, who does that? At 14 years old, crossing 2700, playing 50 minutes down on the clock, on increment for like 20 moves. My mind's blown right now. It's stunning. If you want to get maybe a teeny weeny bit close to that level, do check out Lotus Chess below. It's fantastic. I hope you'll love it as much as I do. And have a look at the video on screen in case you missed this other video from Yaz Khan. Played a little bit ago. Truly incredible with a capital I. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon. Cheers.